The moment the door opened, I didn't need to see their faces. I already knew. I could smell it, the air thick with guilt, with shame. And yet, they both stood there, too afraid to speak, too guilty to move. I had no words either. But as I walked toward them, I felt the weight of their sins pressing on my chest, suffocating me. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always the kind of man to plot revenge, to burn bridges that once seemed sturdy. There was a time when life was simple, when I could look at my wife, Lisa, and feel like the luckiest man on earth. We had everything: love, laughter, a home, a future. And then there was James, my best friend, my brother in every sense of the word. We had known each other since childhood, our bond unbreakable, or so I thought. But that was before I found out everything: the lies, the deceit, the betrayal that shattered everything. The moment I saw them together was the moment my world collapsed. The moment I knew that everything I had, everything I believed in, was a lie. It was a Thursday when I found the first clue. It wasn't anything big, nothing overt. Just a text message, innocently left open on Lisa's phone when she went to take a shower. I almost didn't see it, but something in me, some dark, nagging intuition, drove me to take a look. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Just like last time. I miss you." The words hit me like a punch to the gut, but it wasn't until I saw the name at the top of the message that everything started to spiral. James. My best friend. I read those words again, slower this time, each syllable sinking in deeper, until the realization tore through me like a wildfire. They had been seeing each other behind my back. I don't remember the rest of the day. The world felt muffled, distant, like I was watching it all through a thick pane of glass. I kept asking myself, how could they do this to me? To us? They had no idea I knew, not yet. And I wasn't going to let them. Not yet. For the next few days, I kept my distance. I watched them both carefully, observing their every move, their every word. They thought they were being subtle, but I saw through their charades, their fake smiles, their forced conversations. I spent hours digging, trying to piece together everything they had been doing behind my back. Text messages, phone calls, late-night meetings. They thought I was too busy to notice, too trusting to care. But I was watching. I started taking notes, marking down times, places, and words, every detail that would later become the foundation of my plan. I hated them. I hated Lisa for betraying me, for choosing him over me. But I hated James more. He was the one who had been there through everything, the one I trusted the most, the one I called my brother. And yet, here he was, sleeping with my wife, taking what was mine without a second thought. But the rage wasn't the only thing I felt. There was something else, something darker, something that made my stomach churn with excitement. The thrill of knowing that I was in control. That I held all the cards. They had no idea what was coming. And I was going to enjoy watching them fall. I decided to take my time. I wasn't going to do anything rash, nothing that would make them suspect me. No, I was going to wait for the perfect moment, when they least expected it. I made sure to play the role of the loving husband, the unsuspecting fool. Lisa continued to come home, pretending nothing had changed, her guilt buried beneath layers of lies. James kept texting, pretending to be my friend, acting like he hadn't just destroyed everything we had built. But the tension was building, and every word, every smile they gave me felt like a lie. And I knew that the moment was approaching, the moment I would strike. I began with small things, subtle manipulations, things that would throw them off their game. I started taking control of the finances, shifting money from our joint accounts into separate ones. I made sure Lisa couldn't get her hands on anything without my say-so. Slowly, I took away everything she had ever relied on, until she was left with nothing but the hollow, empty shell of a life. James, too. I started working on his business, one small deal at a time. I knew the cracks in his company, the little things that could bring him to his knees if pushed just right. And push I did. They thought they were untouchable. But I was already moving my pieces into place, setting the stage for their downfall. The day came unexpectedly. Lisa had been acting strangely, like she knew something was off. She started asking questions about the money, about the changes I had made. But it wasn't until she showed up early from a girls' night out that I knew the time had arrived. James had been texting her, and I knew where it was heading. I had been ready for this moment for weeks. The plan was simple, devastating. I called him. "James," I said, my voice calm, collected. "I need you to meet me at the bar. Now." He didn't question it, didn't hesitate. He was too confident, too sure of himself. The man who had everything. The man who had taken my wife, my best friend, my trust. I got to the bar first, ordered a drink, and waited. The clock ticked slowly, each second heavier than the last. And then he walked in. I could see it in his eyes the moment he realized something was off. But it was too late. I had already set the trap. I didn't say a word at first. Just watched him, letting the silence stretch between us. Finally, he spoke. "Why am I here, man?" "I think you know," I said, leaning forward. "I know about you and Lisa." His face fell, the color draining from his skin. He stammered, tried to deny it, but it was no use. He knew I had him cornered. "You don't have to do this," he pleaded. "I never meant to hurt you." "You've already done that," I said, my voice cold. "You took my wife, James. You took everything." The next few moments were a blur, James begging, Lisa arriving just in time to witness it all, her face pale as the truth sunk in. The truth of what they had done to me. The moment Lisa tried to defend herself, I cut her off. I had already made my decision. I wasn't just going to expose them. I was going to take everything they held dear. I walked out of the bar, leaving them both behind, broken. It wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about reclaiming what was mine. In the days that followed, everything started to unravel for them. James' business collapsed under the weight of my interference. His partners abandoned him, one by one. Lisa was left without a penny to her name, her lifestyle crumbling, her reputation tarnished. And me? I had nothing left to lose. I had taken everything from them, piece by piece, until they were nothing but shadows of their former selves. I sat back, watching it all unfold, and for the first time in weeks, I felt peace. It wasn't the peace I had once imagined, the peace of a happy home. No, it was something darker, something colder, the peace of knowing that justice had been done, and that I had emerged victorious. The weeks that followed were quieter. I moved on, leaving behind the ruins of my past life. I found solace in the stillness, in the knowledge that I had taken control, that I had reclaimed what was mine. I didn't need Lisa or James anymore. They were nothing but distant memories, shadows in my rearview mirror. I wasn't the man I used to be. I was stronger now, harder. The man who had been betrayed was gone, replaced by someone more resolute, someone who would never let anyone take from him again. Revenge is a strange thing. It doesn't heal the wound, but it does give you the satisfaction of watching the ones who hurt you fall. And in the end, that's enough.